Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Devin with Laxton Auto Detailer. Today we're going to be doing a sort of paint enhancement polish on this used car. It's a 2015 Chevy Cruze, and my customer is getting ready to sell it. And so we're sort of doing a pre-sale, detail, sort of increase the value of the car just to help get it sold quicker. The interior is in really good condition. I'm not going to show anything really interior. And we're going to be going through sort of step by step how I take care of the car when it comes to doing a one-step polish, a paint enhancement. This isn't a full-fledged paint correction. It's really just trying to get rid of some minor, haze and swirls, and just to brighten up the paint, just to make it a little bit more reflective. It's an 11-year-old car. We don't, you don't always know the condition of the car, and so always best to exercise caution. So here we go. Let's start and have some fun. So here I'm just, sort of looking at the car, inspecting it, getting a good general idea of the outside, seeing where the rust is, seeing where there's damage. It's always a good idea to walk around the car, even if you're just doing a basic detail. You don't want damage to be there later, post-detail, when it was already there before, but people didn't know, and so you don't want any, any mishaps or, what have you. So just to take a good look at the car and look for, water spots, look for brake dust on the car, mineral deposits, tree sap, bird guts and etchings and stuff like that. So that's basically it. My first step with doing a detail typically always starts with, putting either a pre-wash or rinseless wash on the outside and just letting it sit for a little while, just to break down some of that surface grit and surface gunk, stuff that you can just easily rinse away. This was at like 8:30 at night. I didn't use the pressure washer. It would have given me a headache. It would have waken up some of the kids all around. So basically, I put my iron remover on the wheel inside the barrel. It looked kind of not super taken care of, so we did that. And then I sprayed my wheel and tire cleaner on the face of the wheel, the tire, the barrel, and then the wheel well as well. And then you just get to scrubbing. I just used 2 brushes here, a wheel and body brush, and then a barrel brush, easy detail barrel brush. I like barrel brushes. Some wheels you could just use your hand and a mitt or a microfiber towel, just to get in there. But if you have the opportunity, use a barrel brush. It makes it a little bit easier. Just be careful of the sling when you pull the barrel brush out. Sometimes the fingers of the brush can hit up against the back of the spokes and sling on you. There you go. You could already see the color of the wheel just kind of come right back to life. And you saw the browning of the surface. I didn't really use a strong cleaner. It was pretty diluted, so all that browning was just either dirt or road grime, maybe a little bit of the tire anti-ozonate, but really nothing too aggressive. We're not going 4 or 5 times with an alkaline product. Just get it ready for the tire dressing. That's all you have to do. Now I'm just going to spray rinseless on it. So basically I did a contact wash, and then with fallout remover I used a synthetic clay, and then I went over the whole surface. Now we're going to be polishing, and here my polisher of choice is a MaxShine M21 Pro 1000 watt polisher with a 21 millimeter orbit. which is really good, or oscillation rather. And I'm using a 6-inch cutting disc, microfiber, and I'm going to be using a cutting compound. Here I just want to see, I'm just going to do it on the hood. I just want to see how the paint is going to react to polishing. That's really all I want to see. I'm not going to be doing a 2-step on the whole car. I'm just going to pick a section of the hood just to see how it reacts. And this is a compound, so it's going to tell me quite a bit. Shake up your products before using them, especially things that contain abrasives, because they will settle at the bottom. So when you're doing a paint enhancement, obviously you're not going to be doing a 3-stage correction. You're really just going to be putting product on a pad, on the paint, and just kind of working it in. You're just massaging the paint with it. This is a brand new pad, so I had to sort of prime the pad. It was really dry, and this is not the most forgiving compound or polish from Rupes. I switched it out later on, the pad. Movements, you want overlap. You don't necessarily have to do cross hatching where you go left, right, up and down. You can go left, right, left, right, left, right. It really doesn't matter. Be careful of body lines. You don't want to spend too much time on the sharp corners of a body line, because there's actually less clear coat there. There's less surface for clear and paint in general to hold on to. So by that very nature, there's less clear coat there. So that's why the edges make it easier to burn through paint. Also because the complete rotation is focused on one edge, so all of the heat transfer is just going right to that area. Here I'm barely putting any pressure, maybe 1 pound of pressure, and just trying to keep the machine flat. Like I said, we're not doing the whole car. I just really wanted to see how the paint was going to react with this combo. Here I'm taking my time. I'm making sure I get sort of every square inch, the few passes that I did on the whole car. I don't keep a mental note anymore. You know, when you're starting off detailing, sure, you can keep a mental note, 1, 2, 3. But when you've worked on literally thousands of cars and you've polished thousands of cars, you get so just used to it. It just becomes second nature almost. Just let the machine work, like the product work. Let the pad work, and just sort of guide the machine. Rotary, dual action, the same thing. Now we're going to be wiping off the compound, and we're going to be seeing the results. And this is the reason why I didn't even want to do the whole hood as a 2-stage with this compound and polish. I did not like the way that the paint reacted to it, so I actually stopped using this pad and this compound just altogether right after this. It did not do a decent job correcting for whatever reason. This just wasn't the product. It was super dry. The work cycle was really low compared to other products I used. I was barely speed 3, maybe speed 4, and no heat whatsoever. So here I changed pads to a polishing pad, and then I went to the Rupes polishing, what do they call it? Just polishing compound, I think this is what they call it. Make sure you open the cap. If you're using a bottle, then try 3 or 4 little pea-sized drops on the pad. Always a good idea to prep the pad before you use it. If it's a brand new pad and it's foam, then you could mush it up a little bit, squeeze it in your hands, And I would highly recommend getting a pad washer or building a pad washer. It's really simple to do that. I'll probably try to find a link that I'll put in the description below or on the video. A fellow YouTube detailer created a video on how to make your own pad washer. I'm too lazy for that. I bought the Lake Country System 4000 pad washer. It works fantastic. So if you want to spend money, I'd highly recommend that too. Basically, you just get the pad damp. You get it, just a little damp. You don't want it wet at all because you don't want slinging fluid everywhere. You just want it cool and damp. And the dampness is actually going to help spread the polish or the compound, whatever you're using, so it's not so dry. So it'll help it actually even out, and then it'll increase the work cycle just a little bit longer. When you're polishing, it's not like as focused as the compounding stage, because here you're just removing the blemishes that the compounding stage put in. The compounding stage, you're removing the blemishes, the scratches of daily life, but it's actually easier to remove, haze and marring from microfiber pads than it is, scratches from winter brushes or from the outside. They're a lot more uneven, so on and so forth. Using a rinseless dampened towel, I remove the first layer, and then with a dry towel, I wipe off the excess, and here I actually get a nice look at the paint. Here you can see some swirls, and then you can see, less swirls. There's still some minor defects that are, I don't know, it could have been a repainted panel. Like I said, this paint was acting really, really strange. But so this is the one side, and then you can see the other side. It looks a lot clearer. Obviously, it's a lot clearer, but there's some weird hazing and holograms and stuff from this stage. And usually I don't really see that. So I actually changed the combo up. I think I did the fender with that pad, and then I changed it up afterwards. I really wasn't liking the way that it was working. So I went to a Koch black polishing pad, and then I continued to use the polish. You can see the results of the brightness and the shine, the reflection. You can see the sparkles in the paint, the metallic flakes. And this is the point of the enhancement. You're not going for perfect paint. Perfect paint doesn't exist. And if you were to achieve that, it would take 10s and 20s and 30 hours just to try to achieve perfect paint. And there's no point. This is going for sale. So, it's not a $300,000, $1 million car. It doesn't need perfect paint. It's a Chevrolet Cruze. And don't forget to wash your pads. So this was the last section that I tried with this pad and polish combo. It just really didn't feel good. I think it might be the pad. I'm not sure. Like I said, I changed it out for a Koch black polishing pad. Here I'm making sure to just, like I said, get every single section of the paint, do your section passes, make sure that you're getting everything even and it all looks good, and you're just brightening up the paint. Make sure you're not overheating it, you know, touch it every now and then. But if you're not putting crazy pressure on it, you're not using a killer aggressive, you know, combination, and you're not there for 10 minutes, it really shouldn't heat up, you know. You can see I really wasn't happy with the results. It is what it is. When you've brought paint to, you know, 95, 99% perfect before, and you're just doing an enhancement, you get this sort of idea that you're not doing a good job because you still see swirls or marring or scratches. But if the service is an enhancement, then the service is an enhancement. You know, if someone's not paying you to do a full, complete interior restoration, they just want a wipe down, leave the salt on the floor where it is. You know, if you're not paying for it, you're not gonna get it. That's added time, it's added work, and it's added chemicals, and so on and so forth. So this black polishing pad was working a whole lot better. It did the same level of correction, and it wasn't leaving any sort of weird haze or marring around like the blue pad was leaving. An enhancement is really, really simple. You could do this if you have absolutely zero experience. You could do this with a palm sander that has a, you know, an attachment that you can put a polishing pad on. You can do this with your Porter cable 7424, you know, which is like the equivalent of the Simon Eyes, you know, or the Torx, whatever. Basically the 6-inch, 8mm throw with a 500 watt motor, just a crazy vibrating tool that kind of hurts your hand. It doesn't matter. You could use that. You could use a forced rotation. You could use a 21mm DA. It really doesn't matter. You know, pick your poison. Whatever you have, whatever you like. An easier product that you can do a paint enhancement with is actually 3D Speed, and not using a polish. Using an all-in-one like 3D Speed. That contains Montan wax, which has its own fillers, and it has actual abrasives in it, so it's going to give you true correction, and it's going to give you some nice deep gloss with a wax protection. And doing something like that can change the color of the car drastically. In the sunlight, you know, in the shade, your car will look like a completely different, darker, richer color because of the Montan wax and because of the light abrasives that you worked into the paint. So if it's your first time doing a paint enhancement, you know, don't even take a light, don't even inspect it. Just get comfortable taking the polish, putting it on the pad, putting it on the paint, and turning the machine on. That's like the scariest part of paint correction and polishing when you first start out. My first tool was a Makita rotary. This thing was like 15 pounds, and you know, speed 1 is basically all I used. This thing was so powerful, and we did a compound, a glaze, and a wax. This is like the old school like body shop thing. We did a wool pad. It was like a 10-inch wool pad with 3M, you know, compound, and then our second step would be a black waffle pad with glaze, and our third step would be a wax, you know. And this was like what they used to consider a 3-step or whatever. So anyway, just get comfortable with it, that's all. After I finished polishing, I was tired of wiping everything off. So much dust everywhere. It finished down nicely, you know, pretty nicely overall. in terms of how much residue was left on the paint. So I just rinsed it down. I put my rinseless wash on it, and I had a bucket full of rinseless wash. And so instead of just using a rinseless dampened towel everywhere, I used a rinseless soaked wash mitt, and I just went over the whole panel. And this helped me for 2 reasons. Number one, it helped get dust and bugs and stuff, because the garage door was open, off the car. And it helped me remove the polish residue that was left everywhere. It would go in the cracks, you know, so it just basically helped clean up the outside of the car one more time. And this is faster than chasing the weird oil haze that you're there with your towel. This is so much faster than that. And then when I go to dry it, I'm actually going to be using a protection-based drying aid, something like a bead maker you could use, or bead it up from 3D, or Quick Beads, or Envy from DIY, just like literally whatever. Here I'm using a ceramic polymer-based protection on the car as my drying aid, making sure to spread it, work it in, and just to enhance the appearance and to protect, the work that we just did. This is an enhancement. Rock chips everywhere. There's 2 rusted holes in these, side skirts. The interior, immaculate shape. You're going to see in a minute. It looks absolutely beautiful. But this was a daily driver. It has 150,000 kilometers on it. It's probably going to sell for $8,000 maybe. The paint looks really beautiful. In the sunlight, the color is gorgeous. If you're putting a scan grip on it, you're gonna see, some swirl marks that are there. The service wasn't for a 10-hour paint correction. It was for an enhancement. It's all we did. Polish the paint, we enhanced the look, and we didn't really have a sort of level of correction that we were aiming for. Just enhance the look, protect it, make it shiny. And I was super pleased with it in the end. Obviously, we could have chased more. But this is all you really have to do. It's all you really need. So here, let's check out the inside, and then I'll show you the outside, and we get some final thoughts. So here you go. This is the outside. The sun was down when she picked it up, but that's okay. It looks insanely glossy. She took her pictures here and posted it on Marketplace. It looks really, really good. And like I said, I'm super happy with it. And hope you guys learned a little something. If you have any questions, hopefully I'm going to be doing, a one-step paint correction video very soon. And we'll even get into a 2-step paint correction, and then I'm going to be breaking down some fundamentals that even most professionals aren't keeping in mind every time they do paint correction. This will change the game for you when it comes to chasing haze or chasing scratches and stuff like that. So yeah, that'll be super fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.